What's up, everybody? Crazzyfool here, coming at you with a 1.9 patch notes video today, and this patch is massive. We have a new game mode coming out, a new hero coming out, a massive adjustment to the overall gameplay of the game, and there's just so many things to talk about in this video. It's going to go on for a little while, so try to put your headphones in, put it in your back burner, put your phone in your pocket, listen to it while you do things around the house or while you play video games on your main monitor. Whatever it is, just put it in the background, take a listen, and yeah, hopefully you enjoy us going through the 1.9 patch for Tuesday. What is up, everybody? Okay, so we're going to go through the 1.9 patch notes now. Coming soon. They're coming on Tuesday, October 14th. It's going to be interesting because these patch notes are massive, as you can see here. This scroll bar is very tiny, and we got a long way to go. So I'm not going to try to sit here and dwell on a lot of these subjects. I'm going to try to move through them pretty quickly. We might dive into some of them a little bit, but we're going to try for the most part to get through this as quickly as possible because I don't want a 5-hour long video, and I don't want to sit here for 5 hours just talking about patch notes. So let's go ahead and jump in. All right, at long last, we got the Bayer coming out. We got Shadow's Eve, seasonal content, a new game mode, South America ranked Vault Pass return. So this means that we're going to talk about some old battle passes, legacy map returns and customs, major balance fixes, major balance changes to the reshape tempo of the game, and some bug fixes. So talk about Bale the Betrayer. He's got some decent base stats here, 120 XP or HP per level. Yeah, he's got some decent attack speed, base damage, physical power. Cool. Nothing really crazy. Actually, that's kind of low movement speed. I think most melees are in the 700s. I think they lowered everybody's move speed in the game, but this seems kind of low. Maybe it's not anymore. Berserk. When Bale drops below 40% maximum health, he enters a Berserk state for 6 seconds, while Berserk Bale gains 15% plus 2% per level. I'm going to go ahead and take off my headphones here. Attack speed, 9% plus 0.5% per level, movement speed, and tenacity at 30%. So while Berserk, he's going to be pretty strong. If you get a lot of HP, means that 40% threshold is a little bit higher. So yeah, this seems pretty strong. Vigil effect, melee basic attack 62, 60% scaling for all the physical damage he builds. It's not bad for bruisers. And then he has a chained auto attack, which means that 3 swings. So his first swing will do normal damage, his second swing will do normal damage, and his third swing is going to do extra damage. 2 times the damage of his normal auto attacks, which is kind of weird. We don't have a chain attack character in Predecessor yet. We have, animations where characters can do different swings, like Sevarog swings right, swings left, things like that, but the chain attacks don't do anything. So this is the first character in Predecessor that has a chain attack that actually does something during the chain. Cursed Edge, Bale activates the runes on his arm, swinging 3 times to conjure slashes of cursed energy that pierce through all enemies, dealing 35 all the way up to 95 plus 65 bonus physical power. This is like no damage at all. This is actually that's actually 35 3 times, so it's not too bad. Yeah, it's not too bad actually. It's 105 damage, level 1, 150. It's not too bad overall. Almost 300 damage when it's maxed out, plus 65%. I don't know. We'll see. This feels like it might be low, but because you got to remember that it's 35, and then each damage instance also armor counts into effect, so it might be 35 3 times, but armor also reduces this 3 times. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this actually works. The first 2 slashes are vertical, while the third is horizontal and knocks up and stuns all enemies for 0.65 seconds. So he has a knock up in his kit on his third hit from his Q. It's kind of interesting. If Bale hits the target with all 3 slashes, they take extra damage. Bonus bleed damage every 0.5 seconds for 3 seconds. Okay, so that helps out his kit quite a bit. Does bleed damage kind of like Grux. But he's got to land all 3 of these swings on the same person. Interesting. Dire Howl. Bale howls out a battle cry, dealing 60 up to 140 plus 45% physical power damage around him, slowing enemies by 30% for 1.25 seconds. Additionally, Bale is buffed for 5 seconds, gaining bonus physical power and Omnivamp. When the buff ends, Bale heals for the percentage of the damage he took during the duration. So this is kind of an insane steroid. It does 3 different things. Does damage, actually does more than 3. Does damage, slows, buffs himself with physical power and Omnivamp, and heals him at the end of it for the damage he took during it. So if you jump into the team fight, you pop this at the beginning, slow everybody around you, just start swinging away, using your abilities, all of that stuff, and then at the end of it, you get a big chunk of health back if they're hitting you. Seems like it's going to be very good for fighting in team fights. Skull Crusher. Bale leaps a set distance forward, flipping in the air, slamming his sword into the ground, dealing damage. This is his highest scaling ability so far. Maybe not his highest damage overall, but highest scaling. Physical damage in an area. Enemies hit by the slam are marked for 4 seconds, shredding their physical armor by 10 up to 20%, granting Bale 30% increased move speed towards them. So, again, you have to remember this says toward them, so this should mean that if you're running away from them after hitting it, you're not going to get the bonus move speed. This should only be when you're running at the target you hit. This leap can be canceled early by allowing Bale to slam immediately below him. So this is like Rampage jump. If you jump and then click the left click to auto attack, it brings him straight down to the ground so you can more easily land this jump onto people. But another armor shred so that he won't be too bad versus tanks. Kingslayer, Bale slows himself by 60% while he gathers cursed energy, then dashes forward at blinding speed. If Bale hits an enemy here, he stops dashing and swings his sword upward in a massive upcut, throwing them into the air and pummeling them with a barrage of 8 sword strikes, each dealing 30, 42, 54 plus 20% bonus physical power and 1 up to 1.8% of the target's maximum health physical damage. So this will hurt, kind of will hurt tanks. I mean, it's not a lot of health, but it is per hit, so this is 8 times. It's not too bad. Finally, Bale slams the enemy to the ground, dealing 70, 95, 120 plus 75% bonus physical power of the target's max, and then plus 3, 4.2, 5.4 of the target's maximum health, physical damage, and small area around where they land, knocking back enemies in the area. Again, so this is another one of those abilities. It's going to do physical damage, and it's going to hit multiple times, so every single one of these hits is going to be reduced by armor. So it might seem like, oh wow, this character is going to do a crap load of damage. Like, look at this. This is 8 times this swing plus physical power, plus you get the bonus maximum health. But anytime you build armor, this is going to reduce. This is going to reduce all of your. The armor is going to reduce every single sword strike. So all 8 of these, 8 instances of armor proccing on this one ability. So it might not do as much as you think, especially since most people build armor, physical armor, because ADCs do physical damage. Most people are going to do physical armor, which means that your shit's getting blocked multiple times. And you might think, well, crazy, that's how it works for everybody. Well, most characters do one big instance of damage, right? Like Zara's spear, when he jabs that into somebody, that's one instance of damage getting reduced by armor. This is 8 instances of damage, and it's going to feel like a lot more than you think. I think playing him a little bit like I have, sometimes you feel like you do negative damage. Finally, Bale slams the enemy to the ground, dealing 70, 95, 120 plus 75% bonus physical power, and a percentage of the target's maximum health, physical damage in a small area around where they land, knocking back enemies in the area. Interesting. Augments. After casting ability, Bale gains 80% attack speed for 1 attack. Additionally, he automatically starts with his third attack in his basic attack chain, but it always deals 20% decreased damage. So it does 2x his normal auto attack damage, but then it's going to get reduced by 20%. But at least you have more options in landing your auto, your big, powerful damage auto attack. Betrayer's Requiem. Kingslayer uppercut all enemies in an area around the initial target. Additionally, Kingslayer's cooldown is reduced by 20, so you get a 5-man ult, which is kind of interesting. 2, 3, 4, 5-man ults. And then Frenzied Fighter. Berserk has no cooldown and can remain on indefinitely while under the health threshold. So his passive will remain on permanently instead of going on cooldown for a little bit. Whenever he falls below 40%. One thing I did forget to mention real quick, now that one talks about attack speed, is the speed of his swings on his Q, so on his primary ability. A Cursed Edge, the one that swings 3 ranged auto attacks, can be, like the animation can be increased with attack speed. So if you build attack speed on him, that initial 3-round burst ability that he does, or 3-round hit ability, goes faster, which is kind of interesting. Store news, that's a cool Bale skin, a werewolf skin. We have Franken Steel coming as well. It's kind of cool. Wukong the Infernal's coming back. Narbash Bashalaner's coming back. Chimera Sweet Dreams is coming back. Greystone skin's coming back. Kira skin, Sparrow. So a lot of these skins are returns of last year, but overall pretty awesome. That Narbash skin is one of my favorite skins in the game. It's pretty cool. Labs ARAM. The next experimental Pred Labs project is called All Random All Mid, better known as ARAM. In this mode, players are randomly assigned a hero and then battle it out on a single lane map, specifically designed and fine-tuned for chaotic, fast-paced action. So a lot of people have been missing Brawl. Brawl was taken away from us a little while ago, and they're missing that. This will suit your needs. This will help fill that hole that you're feeling with Brawl being gone. Brawl was, trying to get the minions into the enemy base in order for, or killing enemy minions or killing the Fang Teeth, all of that stuff, and it would reduce their points, and once the points got down to 0, you won. Now, with this game mode, it's going to be essentially a one-lane map, 5 people fighting it out, and you're trying to kill the enemy core. So, basically the same thing. In all honesty, it's like the same thing. It lasts a little bit longer than the Brawl matches did. Brawl matches lasted usually around 10 minutes to 13 minutes if they were really long games. ARAM mode, from my experience so far, playing it on stream yesterday, they were lasting anywhere between like 13 to 20 minutes, depending on if you're having a really long, close game. So it'll take a little bit longer than the Brawl game mode did, but all in all, it's a lot of fun. They do have specific balance around it. Some heroes are going to, like ADCs, they're not going to scale as hard, scale as fast, so you're not getting instantly killed by them all the time, things like that, but overall, it's pretty cool. ARAM mechanics breakdown, draft, all heroes unlocked by default, so even if you don't own all the heroes, you can play them all. Heroes are chosen for each player at random. Every hero will be unique. Each player has 2 hero rerolls available to them, so you can, if you don't like the hero you got, let's say I randomed Greystone, I don't want to play Greystone, I can click reroll and random a different character. In general, all heroes will begin the match at level 3. Heroes will have 1350 gold at the start. Heroes will also automatically have the Divine Potion. All heroes gain 100 bonus move speed upon being out of combat for 4 seconds, helping them navigate around the map. Again, this is supposed to be a fast-paced game mode, so they're trying to make it a little bit faster paced. Vision items have been disabled for heroes in this mode because certain heroes like Kalari and stuff would just be useless, right? You'd have 17 wards on the map at all times, and Kalari just wouldn't be able to play the game, so I like that. And it's been pretty awesome that Vision's disabled. You can still deal with Invis characters, but they're not completely useless when you're playing them. Base. Heroes are unable to purchase items once they leave their base. The base does not regenerate health and mana in this mode. Upon death, you will be able to buy items again until you leave the base once more. This just means that even if you back to base, because there is a backing option in the game, you will not be able to regen your health. You cannot buy items. The only way you'll be able to buy items is if you die, and the only way you can get your health back to full health is via lifesteal, having some sort of HP regen, things like that, or by dying. The base is not going to heal you up in this game mode. The whole point of this game mode is you fight until you die, and you cannot buy items until you die. This game mode is very popular in all MOBAs, so this is the basics of how this game mode works, and it's pretty fun. You'll get used to it. It's okay to die. Hopefully this teaches some people that. Recalling while in base does not regenerate health and mana or allow you to buy items until death. Heroes can still recall. Recalling is useful in an attempt to prevent people from backdooring or messing with your minion waves near your base. The map is kind of long. It's one lane and it's pretty long, so they're just doing this so if somebody invis runs back behind you guys and they start cutting creep waves, it's not something you have to run all the way back and forth from. You can hit back and go back to base. Base jump pads. Jump pads are present in each team's base. Jump pads launch the player to the furthest most tower, with its landing location changing as your towers are destroyed. Base jump pads are disabled temporarily once your inhibitor is destroyed and reactivates once it respawns. There are 2 jump pads present near the center of the map. These remain active the entire match, and either team can use them. Health packs. There are 7 health packs scattered around the map the players can use as resources of health and mana regen between engagements. When heroes walk into the health pack, there's a 3-second timer creating a zone in the area. After 3 seconds, all heroes, ally or enemy, in the zone restore 30% max health and 40% max mana. Initial spawn time is 65 seconds. Respawn time is 65 seconds. There are 4 shadow pads present on this map. Shadow pads turn heroes invisible while they are within them, dealing damage to an enemy while inside the shadow pad will reveal you for 2.5 seconds. You may also walk into a shadow pad to see if there's other players inside of them. Geysers. 2 geysers exist near the outskirts of the map, allowing players to access higher ledges. Riverbug. A single enhanced Riverbug is present in the middle of the ARAM map, acting as a bonus objective for heroes to collect in between engagements or to cause engagements itself. It's like whatever. You're going to be fighting the whole time in this mode. You're never going to be playing passive. It's way too much fun to fight. Vault passes, as we announced during the 7 days of reveal, one of the most exciting changes coming in 1.9 Tempest Shadows is that the battle pass will no longer expire. Once you purchase a pass, it's yours to complete at your own pace, no more ticking timers or expiration dates. Past battle passes, nicknamed Vault passes, are also making a return. If you previously bought it but didn't finish it, you'll be able to pick up right where you left off once 1.9 Tempest of Shadow launches. This is awesome for everybody who didn't get to finish their battle passes in the past. You will be able to finish them now, regardless of whichever one you didn't finish. If you didn't finish the winter event last year, or the very first battle pass that the game announced, and you had it, you had to have bought it already. You'll be able to finish it now. Oh, actually, right here, I missed this next one. They will also be available for purchase for players who missed out on them. So you can buy previous battle passes if you like the skins in them. That's pretty awesome. Interesting. I didn't know that. Once you've already purchased these passes but didn't complete them, you'll regain access on October 14th. The Legacy map returns in custom games as well. Just saying that the Legacy map is available if you want to select it during custom games, which is awesome. Ranked mode comes to South America, which is pretty sweet. South American servers will now be able to play ranked. Pretty awesome. Between 3 p.m. and midnight BRT, so there is a timer on it though. You cannot play it 24/7. It's only available between 3 p.m. and midnight. For all of you South American players, and you're sitting there going, why is it only available during certain time zones? This is what they did for North America and for Europe as well. In the initial launch of Ranked, we were only allowed to play it during certain times. It sucks. I know. I hate it. But if they see a lot of growth and they see a lot of people using the Ranked mode, it'll extend and eventually go 24/7. So make sure you're playing Ranked when you can. If you have time and you want Ranked to be available in South America permanently, because if you don't, it's going to take a lot longer for this to become 24/7. It took about a year for NA and EU to be 24/7. I hope South America doesn't take a year. Hopefully it is a lot shorter. Loot crate changes. You can now find the full details here, but here's the gist. You will now receive 300 opals for every 8 quantum cores open. This reward repeats continuously. Thank God, because it is fucking impossible to unlock skins in the opal store. I swear. I play this game non-stop. I get quantum cores a ton. I have a lot of opal and stuff. I don't have like half of the skins in the quantum in the store. And that's coming from a guy who plays the game non-stop. And I buy the loot core every day, and I get quantum cores, and I finish the battle pass instantly, and I bought an extra set of quantum cores from the store. I can barely get those skins, right? And I want all the skins. I think having all the skins is just cool. I like doing it. I'm a collector of that kind. But it's impossible in this game. It's actually impossible. So this is awesome. It's going to guarantee everybody getting opals. Thank God. Oh, by the way, I have like every skin in the game, so whenever I open a quantum core or I open an ion core, I get opal from the thing because it's a repeat skin that I already own, or a repeat banner, or a repeat icon. So I get more opals than most people, and I can't even buy all the skins. It is actually absurd how hard they are to get in this game. So I am liking that this change is happening. More people will have access to those opal skins, even though they are just recolors, except for the Seraph one. Change to drop rates, that's fine. Shadow's Eve mini battle pass, it's going to have a seasonal banner, 2 seasonal sprays, 2 overhead emotes, 1 iron core, 1 quantum core, 3,000 amber, and 100 opal, and the purple skin variant of the Spider Witch Bellica. Pretty sick. 10 free rewards as well, so it's not going to be costing you anything. It's 10 free rewards. Pretty awesome. Major game rebalancing. Okay, so this is where we're going to get to... We haven't even made it a quarter of the way. This is... Holy cow. Okay. Tempest of the Shadows, we're implementing major balance changes to standard and rank to slow the pace, increase the emphasis on strategy, and reward skill play. Expect slower rotations, more valuable farming, stronger towers, less effective CC, and a more impactful laning phase. All of these things are fucking amazing. Super exciting to have every single one of these things coming to Pred. Holy crap, I love it. As described in the recent 1.9 Tempest of Shadows balance blog, we're making some sweeping balance changes and some adjustments with the goal of reinforcing the tactical and strategical mobile elements of Predecessor. Fucking amazing. Though the changes are varied and described in full detail below as a general summary. Various heroes have received mechanical adjustments or small improvements to their abilities. Various projectile abilities have been slowed down to increase their dodge ability. Various explosion area of effect abilities have been reduced to increase their dodge ability. Okay? Various abilities have lost some scaling or damage when leveled up, with the main exception of some mages primarily helping to slow down the late game time to kill. Thank God, late game 1cc insta-dead. Various crowd control abilities have lost 10 to 20% duration and potency. Amazing. Gold drip and ambient gold on missing last hits has been reduced. Thank God. Minions and jungle monsters grant more gold, offsetting the above reductions, but that means you have to farm more instead of just running around the map like a chicken with your head cut off. Support gold from Crest also increased. Let's go supports, offsetting some of the above reductions. Okay. Mobility duration, minion durability increased by 5 to 10%. All heroes now gain their level up stats more slowly when leveling up, making them slightly more fragile in the early game, but this equalizes to normal at level 18. Now gain their level up stats more slowly when leveling up. Interesting. All heroes have lost 15 move speed. Interesting. All heroes have had their movement adjusted. You should feel faster and snappier when attempting to strafe or change direction. Playing on the patch myself, since I got early access to it, I haven't really noticed like any changes in movement or anything. I know people have been saying you're slower, and that could be because I've been playing ARAM, and ARAM, as I mentioned up top, you get 100 move speed after 4 seconds, 100 extra move speed after 4 seconds, which is a lot. So it could just be that I'm feeling that, and it feels the same to me. I don't know if you'll notice this 15 move speed, but maybe you will. All heroes have gained some additional base health regen at level 1. All heroes have had their basic attack combat penalties increased by 5%. So ADCs are even slower when auto-attacking. All heroes have gained 10% attack speed at level 1. Interesting. All heroes have lost a chunk of attack speed growth to offset the above gains. Fantastic. All heroes have gained 0.4 to 0.8 physical power growth. Most heroes have lost 5% scaling on their basic attacks. Kills are worth less XP at most levels. Thank God. Kill comeback XP is less at smaller level differentials. Thank God. Boss monster global XP and rewards decrease. Boss monster durability slightly lower, slightly early game, higher late game. Boss monster damage increased. Boss monster respawn slower. Thank God, thank God, and thank God. Refillable potion healing has been reduced. Interesting. Tower damage increased and ramps up more aggressively with each shot. Thank God. Tower platings are easier to take in the early game when all 4 plates remain. Tower plates now fall at 13 minutes instead of 12 minutes, so you can get more. Get more gold off the map. And it's trying to push laning phase a little bit. General balance changes. Level up stats and growth. Proportion of average stats gained from leveling up at 1 to 18 change from 80% through 120% to 70% to 130%. So let me look at that again. Proportion of average stats gained from leveling up 1 through 18 changed from 80% to 120 to 70 to 130. So you get less stats early on, more stats later on. Interesting. Kill bounty gold. Kill bounty gold has been reduced in the early game. That's good. So people are less likely to roam around the map. Kill XP. Kill XP has been changed as well to where it's a reduction in early game. It goes from 30, 70, 110, 165 to 30, 60, 100, 145. So it lowered by quite a bit, but ends up being more towards the later stages of the game. Kill bounty XP modifier at -4 levels, -3 levels, -2 levels, -1 level. Hero differential has been changed from 80, 70, 55, -40 to -80, -70, 65, -45, -25. Interesting. So you don't get as much XP when you kill somebody who's lower level than you. But if they're a higher level than you, you get the same amount as before. No, you get more XP for killing somebody who's a lower level than you. Yeah, you get more XP. If someone is 1 level lower than you, you used to get -40% reduction in XP, but now you get -25, which is awesome. Comeback XP, generic comeback XP modifiers when a player falls too far behind in levels now grants less bonus XP at smaller deficits and require more extreme XP deficits to grant some of the same bonuses that you got before. Near minion death gold with 1 to 5 allies, nearby allies has been decreased from 22, 18, 14, 10, 6% to 10, 8, 6, 4, and 2%. Wow. You better be last hitting minions, which is amazing. I love this change. This is when you're next to a minion that dies. You used to get 22% of the gold if you're just by yourself in lane, and it dies without you last hitting it. Now you're only going to get 10%, over a 50% reduction in what you used to get. So you're going to be getting gold a lot less. You better get good at last hitting. Gold drip per second decreased from 3 to 2.6. Okay. Hero movement. All heroes have had their movement speed reduced by 15. All heroes now accelerate to max speed 33% faster. Heroes breaking friction is now 2x stronger. Trying to make it a little more mobile so you can dodge abilities a little bit easier. Minions are not only gaining increased gold for last hits to offset reductions in XP to ambient gold. So we're getting a little bit more gold from minions. Melee minions, instead of 21, you're going to get 23. Their health is also increased. Range minions, instead of 14, you're getting 15. Also, minion damage modifier is also increased, so range minions are going to hurt a little bit more. Siege minions, instead of getting 60 to 130, you're going to get 70 to 140 gold. So just more gold all around from last hitting minions. Make sure you hit them. Don't miss. Hunt now grants 15 gold when killing camp leaders. Boss monsters respawn slower. Boss monsters deal more damage and are typically more durable in the late game. 2, 3, 4, 5 camps give slightly less gold. So you get more gold when you use your hunt. Don't have that thing sitting on cooldown forever. Now that Hunt grants 15 additional gold when killing camp leaders, like River Buffs, Gold Buff, Cyan. River Buffs, Gold Buff, and Cyan Buff are exempt from this. Interesting. So it's only your jungle camps, not the neutral camps. Seedling, health has been decreased a little bit, so it's a little bit easier to kill. Shaper, respawn timer has been increased to 360 seconds. Wow, wow, wow. Global gold decreased from 250 to 200. Global XP reduced from 250 to 200. Eruption damage has been increased. Stomp damage has been increased. That thing is going to hurt. Immolation area damage has been increased. Interesting. They're making the buffs a lot harder to kill. Fangtooth is respawn timer increased from 270 seconds to 285 seconds. So barely a change in that. Shaper has a fucking really long cooldown, compared 6 minutes versus less than 5. Interesting. Physical armor has been increased on it. Basic attack, current health damage has been increased, and then the health has also been changed to be a little bit weaker in the early game and a little bit stronger in the late game. So Fangteeth are going to be fought over, but it's going to be a little bit different fighting over them now. You might have your jungler solo them in the early parts of the game, or start off soloing them a little bit earlier. Primal Fang respawn is the same, 285 seconds now. Global XP has been reduced to 350, and they're also making it harder to kill. Interesting. Mini Orb now has a 360 second respawn timer as well, so it's right there along with the Shaper. Orb Prime also is going to have a 360 seconds, and again, both of these Mini Orbs and Orb Prime are making it harder to kill them. Orb Prime's damage reduction debuff no longer reduces your damage against targets other than itself. Wow, that is a big change. It used to be that if you start Orb Prime, your damage got reduced, and if you try to take a team fight, you just wouldn't hit as hard to the enemy team. So if you started Orb Prime and they came and fought you, your damage was going to be reduced. And now it's not going to work like that, which is pretty awesome. Now you're going to be able to hit, if you start pulling the objective early on and somebody comes and contests you, you'll be able to fight them at full strength instead of being a little bit weaker. Black camp, large, medium, gray camps, large, small. We don't care about this, just some gold changes. Towers, damage ramp shot cap has been increased from 3 to 4, so if somebody is tanking the tower for longer, it's going to do even more damage. Armor pen decreased from 50% to 45%. They decreased the armor pen because the ramp damage is higher. I don't really like this. Tanks can already tank 700 tower shots at stage 3. I highly doubt that stage 4 of the ramp shot damage is going to hurt them, right? I don't think you really needed to decrease by 5%, but we'll see. Outer tower damage increased from 145 to 285, 170, 338. Damage increase from 145s to start out to 285 at tier 3 is now going to be 170 to 338. So they're going to hurt way more. They are going to hurt. Squishies will die so fast. Interesting. I mean, yeah, towers in the inner tower, so your tier 2 tower is getting increased in damage as well, and the inhib is also getting increased damage. Okay. Tier 2 towers and inhibs are going to hit a little bit harder than the outer towers. Cool. Regenerator is getting another nerf. My God. Wow. There's no way this regenerator augment is good anymore. This thing has to be garbage. Another nerf to it, huh? 2 plus 2.5% missing health over 10 seconds. Which is so bad. Heroes. Reductions to movement speed to reinforce more methodical gameplay and combat flow. Increased to level 1 attack speed. We already talked about this earlier, so we're going to skip some of this. Go. We're going to talk about this. We talked about it earlier. While some heroes may see larger changes than others in these departments, the general goal here is to shift the balance baseline towards a more skill-expressive, methodical environment with more emphasis on lane dynamics and outplay potential. Due to this, it should be noted that most hero changes have not been done with the goal of buffing or nerfing them specifically relative to the rest of the roster, but to satisfy the new baseline and build upon it over time. So they're trying to make the game more skill-based instead of just ooga booga, which is fucking awesome. So as with any larger shift to the balance baseline, rough edges are bound to occur. If any specific heroes feel overly powered or left behind as a result of this balance pass, or any broader issues arise, please rest assured that we will continue to iterate and correct them swiftly in the following balance patches with all your help and support. Awesome. Akron. So now we're down to the heroes. Finally, we're to the fucking heroes, man. We're to the heroes. Oh, we're to the heroes on the map, on the page. I mean, good Lord, we've been talking for 30 minutes and we have a long way to go still. I'm trying to get this as quick as possible. I know some of you guys who are just listening might have to put this in 0.5 speed, but again, there's a lot of patch notes here and I'm trying to get through them. There's a lot of awesome things coming so far. There's a lot of awesome things they've talked about in the upper parts of the balance patch. But now we're getting to the heroes, and this is another massive rework like they did in 1.4 and in 1.6 with the augments. So let's see what we have. Akron. Physical power, attack speed increased, attack speed growth decreased, movement speed decreased, that's fine. Flay bonus physical power has been reduced. Hellfire damage per hit from 15 up to 75 to 15 up to 71. So his Hellfire, which is his eyeball that comes out, is even worse. They keep nerfing that ability probably because it was an absolute disgusting OP ability, but it's going to do even less damage. You have to remember that these are damage instances. It hits 10 times. It hits more with ability haste, so this 4 damage gets ramped up on very quickly, right? It hits 10 plus times, and it's going to be 4 damage, at least 10 times as 40 damage reduced, so it adds up very, very quick. Weblash, web shot damage decreased from 70 to 90 to 70 to 170, so that's also getting a 20% hit level at the later levels. Web shot root duration has been decreased. It's only going to be 1 second now, regardless of the level. Lead damage has been decreased as well. Crushing Maw, damage changed from 70 to 170 to 75 to 155. Bonus physical power scaling has also been reduced. Magical power scaling has also been decreased. So this is just, coming from this first hero right now, just looking at this so far, they are just nerfing damage. Power creep apparently has gone rampant in Pred. And looking at only Akron, maybe other characters are a little bit different, but looking only at Akron, they are trying to extend time to kill in this game by a lot. Every single ability got scaling reduced and got base damage reduced, which is ridiculous. people are going to live a lot longer now, which is a good thing. People have been dying really fast, and I think it's been getting very frustrating for some players. So let's keep going. Hopefully all the characters are looking like this. We're going to skip the base stats, the general stats. You can look at these if you want, if you care about base stats. Arcane Conduit basic attack has been reduced from 60% scaling to 55% scaling. Dread Nova damage has been increased. Increased on this one. 85 to 205 to 85 to 225. That's his stun. Projectile speed has been decreased by 15%. Projectile gravity increased from 0.85 to 0.1. So it's going to be a little bit harder, a little bit faster, but a little bit harder to hit. With the gravity, you're going to have to get used to the new arches, the new lob range and stuff. Particle Shredder. Yeah, actually, sorry, harder to hit because the projectile speed has been decreased, so it's slower. It moves slower, and the gravity has more effect on it. Interesting. Particle Shredder. Damage decreased from 15 to 43 to 15 to 39. Mana cost has also been increased 10 to 18 to 14 to 18. This thing early on, level 1, is going to demolish your mana. Level 9, it'll be the same again. Synaptic Obliterator now fires 3, 4, 5 beams at rank 1, 2, and 3 instead of 3 at all ranks. So you can shoot 5 Argus ults later on in the game. You're going to melt some people. You might be able to kill 2 people pretty easy now. Maybe even 3 pretty easily. You get into a team fight. The team fight breaks out. You ult, pop one guy with your first 2, hit another guy with your third. Last 2 go on to somebody else. You might actually be able to kill 3 people pretty easy with this now instead of rarely, because it was only 1 shot to each person. Damage has been decreased from 105 to 205 to 105 to 155. Wow. 50 damage off at level 3 because it's 5 shots now. Wow. Magical power scaling decreased from 20% to 18%. Projectile speed has been decreased. I have played Argus and ARAM. You can feel this projectile speed decreased. Those things move fucking slow. Damn. Projectile hitbox has also been decreased. Projectile VFX size has been size increased to increase readability and better represent the hitbox. This is cool. This top one going up to 5 shots at rank 3, but man, do you feel all of these things. Like I said, I played them in an ARAM. You feel all of these. Aurora magical power scaling has been increased on her passive. Okay, do they love this character? Leap cooldown reduction on immobilized increase from 3 seconds to 4 seconds. They absolutely love this character. First, what is this buff? Her basic attack has been decreased on bonus physical power scaling from 80 to 75. Glacial Charge fixed an issue where Aurora could fall through her ice wall if she activated it immediately after bouncing on the enemy head. Okay. Horror Frost can now be cast midair while a normal or quick cast. Okay. Boral Sweep, which is her right-click explosion damage delay from 0.9 to 0.95. 0.05 seconds damage delay is not a big deal. Explosion damage increased from 70-95 all the way up to 170 to 80, all the way up to 200. Explosion 30% slow has been removed, so it no longer slows, but it does a little bit more damage. So you can actually walk out of this now. You can walk out of this. Cooldown has been increased as well by a second. So this is the first character where they've increased the damage on that she does, but they removed one of her slows, which is good. Interesting. Boris. Attack speed per canister has been increased from 6% to 15 to 7 to 16, so 1% increase on the attack speed you get. Maul basic attack nerfed the scaling of his basic. Tesseract device, which is his passive. The Zap damage total physical power scaling has been decreased as well. Primeval Roar damage has been decreased. Chrono Swipe, which is his right click, his dash ability, damage has been increased. Interesting, by 5 damage. But you have to remember it hits twice, so it's 10 damage. Total physical power scaling has been decreased though. Was it by 1%? Oh, by 5% in total. Yeah. Weird. Okay. Countess, her basic attack's nerfed. Her Shadow Slip projectile speed has been decreased by 20%. Projectile speed of her Q, that's weird. Didn't even know, it's like instant. The They made it more visible as well, so it's easier to see. Area damage radius increased from 175 to 250, so it's easier to do damage with that ability now. Eventide magical power scaling has been decreased, which is her wave that she shoots. Projectile speed has been decreased as well, so it's going to be harder to hit. Her Blade Siphon, which is her AoE around her that she does, has also been decreased on the scaling. The damage of it has been decreased on scaling. Feast Ultimate. Fix an issue where Feast would not go on cooldown when used against a spell-shielded target. Interesting. Crunch. His passive, magical scaling decreased. Damage changed from 15 to 95 to 20 to 80. So, more damage early, less damage later. Physical power scaling has been decreased from 115% up to 135 to 110 to 130. So 5% nerf on scaling. We're just going to probably skip those going on because scaling is 5% everywhere. Right Crunch. Bonus physical power scaling decreased. Magical power scaling decreased. Forward Crunch. Damage has been decreased by 20. Cooldown changed as well. It's higher cooldown in the early game, lower cooldown in the late game. Quality of life now blocks movement midway through the dash windup to increase the feedback and feel of dashing. Okay. Not sure what that means right now, but Decker, her Photon Disruptor, damage changed. They've increased the damage in the early game, nerfed it in the later stages by 10. Magical power scaling has also been increased, which is her. Why are they, dude? They obviously have their favorites. Why are they making Decker do more damage? Like, what are we doing? I thought we were nerfing damage. She already chunks. What are we doing? Containment Fence activation delay has been increased. Quality of life, visual cage now better matches the collision activated timing. Now spawns a decal in the world when placed before the cage becomes active. So it just shows where the cage will be as it's coming up, I guess. I don't know. Stasis Bomb, damage changed. More damage early game, less damage late game. Stun duration based on distance has been decreased. So the max stun is 1.5 now. No longer 2 seconds. It can no longer be 2 seconds stun, which is awesome. Projectile gravity has been increased. Stasis Bomb's projectile now visually rotates while it travels. Who cares? Bounciness increased from 0.5 to 0.75. Okay. Ion Strike. Stun duration has been decreased. Why are they making Decker do more damage in the early game? And the scaling has been increased on her. So what are we doing? I thought we were nerfing damage, man. This character chunks. Wastelander. Max health damage has been decreased. His basic attacks, power scaling decreased. Gag Grenade. Damage changed from 40 up to 140 to 45 to 125. So they're nerfing Drongo's damage. Everybody's getting damage nerfs except for their favorites, man. Fuck. Characters that are already strong, like Aurora and Decker. Rad Rounds. Additional hit damage has been decreased. Additional hit total physical power scaling has been increased. Okay. Old Rusty. Damage changed from 40 up to 140 to 45 up to 125. More damage early, less damage late. Shrapnel damage. Damage decreased. Bonus physical power scaling decreased. Bang Mao. Bonus physical power decreased on his shield. Interesting. Hamstring. Damage changed. Buffed it in the early game, nerfed it in the late. Physical power has been decreased. Isolation bonus physical power scaling increased. Isolation damage is now considered proc damage and no longer triggers Infernum and Mutilator effects for 2x the value. Boom. Fucking Feng Mao players suck a toe. That's like a ton of damage nerf. That's a huge damage nerf right there. Reaping Dash. Bonus physical power scaling decreased. Current health damage decreased. Earth Shatter Ultimate damage decreased. But his execute's still the same. Gadget. Spark, her basic attack. Decreased the scaling. Sticky Mind. Now automatically becomes empowered when Gadget attaches a Sticky Mind to herself or allies. This is awesome to help with wave clear. Sometimes you throw it on the ground, it gets put on yourself, and now you can't auto-attack it, right, because it's on yourself, and that'll blow up for the full value. Same thing if you throw it on an ally who's fighting an enemy, right? You throw it down, you're trying to hit it on an enemy, but it hits on an ally. Now it's on your ally's head. You can no longer basic attack to get the empowered, so now it's always going to be empowered on your allies. Pretty great change, quality of life change right there. Security gate, damage increased, magical power scaling increased, movement speed decreased, root duration decreased, cast time increased, security gate lifetime decreased. So it's on the map for less time, does more damage, it gives you less move speed, and it roots for less time. Seek and destroy alternative, damage has been increased as well. So your right click does more damage now. Hero follow speed has been decreased by 15%, so people can get out of it a little bit easier. Tesla Dome, her ultimate, damage increased, magical power scaling decreased. So the base damage of it is higher at level 1, but it scales less, or it scales to be the same at level 3. But sorry, yeah, the base damage scales to be the same at level 3, but the scaling itself is lower. So basically her early game should be a little bit better, and her late game should be a little bit worse. Cosmic power, Gideon now misses the... If Gideon now misses the basic attack, it is consumed and does not go on... It is consumed and does not go on cooldown, requiring him to hit another ability to activate it again. Gideon now misses the empowered basic attack. It is consumed and does not go on cooldown, requiring him to hit another basic attack or another ability to activate it again. So Gideon's passive, where if you hit an ability and you throw your auto attack and it latches onto them, does damage over time, and roots them. Now, if you miss that basic attack, you have to land another ability to get the proc again to hit somebody with. That's good. It used to be that person would hit one ability and then they would auto 4 times until they get the hit, and then they would finally get the hit, and then they would launch their Q and do a whole bunch of damage. Now you actually have to land your auto attack instead of missing 4 of them before you finally land one. Awesome. Cosmic Rift, damage increased. Magical power scaling increased, damage decreased. Range has been decreased. So you can't cast your big burst damage ability. It's basically auto attack range now. That's crazy. And the cooldown has been decreased as well. Interesting. Torn Space, teleport range has changed from 100 units to 800. So it's way less in the early game and way higher in the late game. So Gideons will be easier to kill in the early game and harder to kill in the late game, which is awesome. Easier to gank their lanes now. Void Breach damage increased from 90 to 210 to 90 to 230. Slow has been decreased. Magical power scaling from 270 to 290 on his black hole. So his black hole is going to do more damage. Greystone. Physical armor shred per hit has been increased. This guy's going to get more buffs. Now consumes the empowered, so his secondary oath now consumes the empowered basic attack if Greystone misses the basic attack, which is good. There's been times where I played Greystone and missed because I'm trying to chase somebody down 4 auto attacks in a row and then finally hit the 5th one. Thank God it consumes it if you miss. The damage has been decreased as well on that. Assault the Gates damage has been decreased. Jump speed decreased by 15%. Cooldown has been decreased as well. Grim, total physical power scaling has been decreased. Bonus physical power scaling has been decreased on his passive and on his basic attack. Displacement Blast, primary, damage has been increased on his Q, that little ball he shoots. Straight shot projectile hitbox has been decreased, so it's harder to hit. Lobbed explosion radius has been decreased as well, so it's harder to hit. GTFO Ultimate, projectile speed has been decreased by 11%, easier to block. Grux, the Chieftain's War Club's basic attack, bonus physical power scaling decreased again. These melees are having like higher... Grux's scaling is better than ADC's. He has 85% scaling. I'm pretty sure Drongo has 80%. Auto attack scaling. Interesting. Crush, damage decreased. Howie. Combat thrusters movement speed decreased from 140 to 300 to 140 to 60%, which is his augment. That makes him go faster when he ults. His arm salvo passive damage damager increased from 15 to plus 5 per level to 20 plus 5 per level, so his passive auto attack will do more. Cannon basic attack is getting its scaling nerfed like everybody else. R2000 missile, his primary damage has been changed from 70 to 210 to 80 plus 225. So he's doing more damage with his R2000. The scaling has also been increased. What are we doing? Direct damage has been decreased, so it does less damage when you directly hit it, but it's just better overall. Interesting. Interesting. Okay, direct hit magical damage scaling has been decreased. Projectile direct hit radius has been increased. Explosion radius decreased. Okay, so if you don't land a direct hit, it's just better. But if you land a direct hit, it would be worse. Not really, because the base damage has been increased. So it's not even worse if you land a direct hit. Because the base damage of it. And then the direct hit is bonus damage on top of the base damage. So it's actually the same. It's just better if you don't land direct hits. This is just a buff. It is going to be harder to hit, but it's just a buff to damage. Interesting. Landmine. The damage changed from 70 to 190 to 80 to 180. So his landmine, his damage is nerfed in the late game, better in the early game. Mana cost has been increased, so it can't use it as much. Slow grenades has been decreased from 1.25 to 1. Cooldown has also been increased, so he doesn't get as many of them. Make It Rain now fires 4 barrages instead of 3. The hover distance has been increased, so he's in the air longer, firing more shots. Total damage has been increased from 432 up to 768 to 480 up to 992. Base damage on this motherfucker's ultimate is 1,000 at level 3. Total magical power scaling has been increased. Damage per missile decreased. Magic power scaling per missile decreased. Projectile speed decreased. This guy is going to fucking annihilate you. You're going to die to this howitzer. Why are they making his R a one-shot permanently? What the fuck? Mages can have like 5... I don't even know. Fucking, I think 500 is easy to hit on them as far as magic power. 224%? This thing's going to do like 3,000 damage. You're literally killing ADCs in just an ult. Wow. Iggy. Badlands Critter passive. Damage now correctly increases with hero level. Damage per level increased from 0.5 to 0.4. Magic power scaling decreased. So his passive didn't work before. Now it'll work. Oil spill. Slow has been decreased to 35%. Molotov alternate. Damage has been increased. Magical power scaling has been increased. Projectile speed has been decreased. Gravity is decreased as well, so it can go further, I think. Molotov projectile VFX size has been increased by 20% for more visibility. Inferno ultimate. Total magical power scaling increased. So Iggy's getting some damage buffs. Character sucks, so it kind of makes sense. Kalari, Deathmark, the passive. Bug fix. Using Guillotine after double jump no longer makes Kalari fall to the ground while channeling an ability. Okay. Bug fix. Double jump no longer goes on cooldown after using a single jump and casting Shadow Dance. Guillotine or other dash effects. Kalari must now land before her double jump goes on cooldown. Cool. Double jump now no longer locks Kalari into a movement direction. Instead, she can move more freely in the air. Fantastic. Great change. Great change. Her basic attack base damage has been nerfed. Shadow Dance secondary bonus physical power scaling has been decreased. Crippling Dagger bonus physical power scaling decreased. Projectile speed decreased. It's going to be harder to play Kalari. Chimera. Spirit Regeneration passive. Movement speed has been decreased from 10% to 8%. Movement speed stack threshold is increased from 15 to 20. Rage and Spirit, basic attack. Bonus physical power scaling decreased. Ambush, bonus physical power scaling decreased. Kira. Wrath, bonus physical power scaling decreased. Dusk, power scaling decreased. Mercy, damage decreased. Purge, ultimate, total damage has now been increased. It now applies Blight for 2 seconds. So Kira's ultimate now will apply Blight. So people who are healing a lot, this will help kill them. Gruxes, Rampages, Narbashes, Zinks that are trying to heal people. She now will apply Blight with her ultimate. That is interesting. Kwong. Heavenly Blade basic attack. Scaling has been decreased. Judgment of the Heavens primary. Magic's power scaling decreased. Teleduration decreased. Magical power scaling decreased whenever you use the light of the heavens. The right click on it as well. The true damage has been decreased. Interesting. Lieutenant Bellica. Bonus physical power scaling decreased from 70 to 65 on her basic. Seismic assault magic power scaling has been increased on her stun. Void drone magical power scaling has been decreased, so void drone will do less damage. Void bomb damage has increased from 90 to 210 to 95 to 235. Damage radius has been increased as well. Her void bomb is going to be easier to hit. Explosion delay has been increased. So it's actually going to be a full second before her explosion goes off with her right click. So even though that damage radius has been increased, it's going to be harder to land her void bomb because you need to make sure that they're in the center or they're going to walk out of it. You almost have a full second to walk out of that void bomb before it blows up. Oops. Morgesh. Her basic attacks, base physical power scaling has been decreased. Her hive magical power scaling has been decreased. Explosion radius is also decreased. So, just a couple of small nerfs to Morgesh. Morn. Jesus. Contagion. Can now damage monsters. So this will help when jungling, guys. You can now use your Q to damage monsters. Wow. Now applies a tick of damage or healing on initial application. Damage healing tick rate changed from 1 second to 0.5. Total number of ticks has been increased to 7. Damage per tick has been decreased from 15 up to 55 to 8 to up to 24. But you have to remember, it ticks twice as much now. So you are actually getting a straight damage buff to this. Total damage has been increased from 45 to 165 to 56 to 168. See, it's just a straight buff on damage. Magical power scaling per tick has been decreased, so you can't ult and do this freaking pure magic build and do 1,000,000 damage. Total magical power scaling has been decreased. Good. Healing per tick decreased from 10 up to 30 to 4 up to 16. Total healing has been increased. So what it's basically saying is your oh wait, yeah, no wait. It's actually your magic damage builds on Morn will still do enough. It will still do a lot of damage because again, it's 7 ticks of damage now instead of 3. But you have to remember that each tick is going to get reduced by armor. So you'll have seven times it'll be reduced by armor as far as your damage builds go, instead of 3 times reduced by armor. Healing per tick has been decreased, so you're going to heal for more. Essentially, like your Q healing will do more, but it's just over 7 hits instead of 3. So your initial heal won't be as much per tick, but over time it'll heal for more. Interesting. What a weird way to balance this. Overall, it's getting buffed. It's just over more ticks of the ability, but overall, it's getting buffed in every way. Healing magical power scaling per tick has been decreased. Total healing magical power scaling has been increased. Yeah, this is actually just a straight buff to his contagion. It's just, it has to apply more times than before. Weird. Weird way to change that ability. Beguile, his secondary. Magical power scaling has been decreased. Minimum mez duration has been decreased. Maximum mez duration has been decreased. Self-slow has been increased. Slower when he uses it now. Abduct, damage decreased. Slow duration has been decreased as well. Murdoch. Physical power scaling has been increased on his passive to 30%. The Enforcer, his basic attack. Bonus physical power scaling has been decreased to 85%. As an ADC getting 85% scaling, Klari has 85%, Grux has 85%, which I guess before they had 90 as well, but still. Static Trap, damage has been decreased. Root duration has been decreased from 135 to 1 second. Activation delay has been decreased from 0.7 to 0.6. So you'll probably be able to root pretty easily now with Static Trap, especially with that augment, which makes it bigger AoE, but it's not going to root for as long. But it's quicker to come up, so it'll definitely be easier to root people. Hot Pursuit, decaying movement speed has been decreased. Long Arm of the Law ultimate. Vertical hitbox has been improved to not allow heroes to jump through the laser blast and not receive damage as easily. I guess people were jumping and not taking damage. Okay. Muriel, her basic attack has been decreased, the scaling. Serenity, her primary damage has been decreased on her primary ability, which is that Q that slows people. The 8% damage amplification has been removed. The slow duration decreased from 1.75 to 1.25. Projectile speed has been decreased. Projectile hitbox. Just straight up destroying Muriel's Serenity build. I don't know if you want to max this anymore because they just absolutely gutted it. Less damage, less slower movement speed. Hitbox is smaller, and you don't get the 8% damage amp anymore, which makes it to where everything, like if you hit somebody with this, they take more damage from all sources. This is just, it's just gone. Wow. Consecrated Ground. Shielding has been increased on her secondary ability, the AoE shield. She can shield for more now. Shield magic power scaling has been increased from 40 to 45%. Cooldown has been increased from 16 down to 10 to 16 down to 12. So she can shield for more now. Her alacrity augment, the decaying movement speed has been decreased on that. Just straight Muriel nerfs. Just trying to gut her and make her secondary ability a little bit better. Nardaddy, aka Narbash. Narbash, basic power scaling has been decreased from 100%, so the highest scaling auto attacks in the game, to 95%. Still the highest scaling auto attacks in the game. March, movement speed has been decreased from 30 to 25%. Song of My People secondary healing has been increased from 8 to 14 to 10 to 14, so more healing in the early game. Thunk, the alternate. Thunk is now a lobbed projectile that no longer has a limited range, but is affected by gravity after traveling 1,300 units, progressively falling to the floor. Which basically means that his Thunk, when you throw it, it's going to go straight, and then slowly fall after going straight for 1,300 units, which is almost auto attack range. Not quite. Auto attack range is 1,500 units. This is 13. So it's going to go straight and then fall. Interesting. But you can now throw it up in the air, right? And it'll go straight up and then slowly fall down, but it's going to fall with gravity, right? So it's going to keep its momentum, which means that you can stun people 2,000, 2,500 units away. Cool. Damage change from 110 to 270 to 95 to 275. So more damage in the later stages, less damage in the early. Stun duration has decreased from 1.25 to 1 second up to 1.2. So his stun isn't getting nerfed that much if you get it maxed out. And it's further away, but it does go slower. It's not going to be an instant thunk anymore. Phase, please nerf this character to the dirt. Psychic Flare. Damage has been increased once again. Decreased. I'm reading things backwards. Sorry. Psychic Flare's damage has been decreased. Blind duration has also been decreased. Thank God. Energy Lance. Damage has been decreased. Root duration has been decreased. So small nerfs to Phase. I wish there was more, but just some small nerfs. Rampage. Boulder Throw, his primary damage has been decreased. Stun duration has been decreased as well to 1.3 at level 1 instead of... to 1.2 at level 1 instead of 1.3. You guys know that this Boulder Throw used to be a 2-second stun at level 1. Now it's 1.2, and its max stun is 1.4. This thing has been getting a ton of nerfs. Bug Fix. No longer damages the nearest enemy within a small distance when hitting terrain. Projectile speed decreased by 22%. Projectile gravity has been decreased as well. Pounce. Damage has been decreased. Rena. Echoes of the Dam passive. Rena can now activate Hover when she is knocked back by an explosive flower. So she's flying over top walls and stuff. She can hover now. Vow, basic attack. Bonus physical power scaling has been decreased. Stupor. Essence, current health damage threshold increased from 25 to 30. Explosion radius has been decreased 335 units to 275 units. Okay. Soulfire, the alternate ability, damage has been decreased. Abyssal Rift, ultimate damage radius has been decreased to 850 units. Thank God that radius was massive. It's still going to be big with 850 units, but definitely smaller. So just nerfs to Rena. All you guys will be happy in chat because Rena Pretty OP. Revenants. Bounty Hunter passive. A bonus physical power increase from 3% up to 9% to 3% plus 0.6 per hero level. So quite a bit more, right? Once he's past level 10. Yeah, so level 11 onward, it'll be more. Wow. Fate, basic attack, bonus physical power scaling has been decreased to 90%. So yeah, Narbash still has 95%, higher scaling. Basic attack animation timing improved to be more intuitive with the recovery time between shots. Okay. Obliterate, bonus physical power scaling has been decreased. Scar root duration has been decreased. Hellfire rounds, reload movement speed has been decreased when you hit somebody with your fourth shot. Big Dick Rick, Mr. Richter, whip, bonus physical power scaling has been decreased. Oh, he has the same scaling as Nardaddy. Shock therapy, silence duration has been decreased to 0.8 seconds. Electrocute damage has been decreased from 130 up to 290 to 100 up to 260. Bonus health scaling has been increased, so even though he got a reduction in base damage, his scaling when he builds HP is more. Magic scaling is also more. Bruiser build Richter. I swear that shit's coming. It's gonna come. It's gonna come fast, baby. You're gonna be building like you do with Kwong on Richter, and it's gonna chunk. Riplash base damage has been decreased. Wow, 5 damage at level 1 when you hook somebody, huh? But it also has the 8% damage on it, so it's going to be a little bit more, but damn. Bug fixed. Projectile speed has been decreased. Projectile speed has been decreased, and mana cost has been decreased as well, so you can throw more hooks, but they're slower, they do less damage. Bug fix. Fixed a visual issue where the cast VFX would not attach to Richter when using jump hook. Sereth. She got a 10% reduction in her basic attack scaling instead of 5. She got hit a little bit harder. Heaven's Fury primary. Attack duration decreased from 1.375 to 1 second. Ascend. Damage has been decreased on her movement ability. Chastise, her ultimate. Damage has also been decreased on that as well. And the slow duration has been decreased. Good. Nerf this character. Sevarog, I'm afraid to read this. I'm not going to lie. I feel like he's going to get buffed. Siphon, damage per soul decreased from 0.5 to 0.4. Damage health scaling decreased from 2.5 to 2. Magic power scaling decreased from 45 to 40. Thank God he's getting nerfed. Subjugate, root duration decreased from 1.5 to 1.25. Phantom Rush alternate bonus. Health scaling decreased from 4 to 3. Actually, just straight up nerfs. Thank God. I thought he was going to get buffed for some reason. Not many people were playing him, so I thought he might get buffed. Shinbi, Biting Melody passive, damage multiplier decreased from 3x to 2.5x. Her basic attack nerfed. Line tempo, fixed an issue where line tempo's wolves could pass through enemies and not deal damage. Cool. Circle Rhythm, damage per hit has been decreased from 20 to 64 to 20 to 56. So more damage, less damage in the later stages, but the same damage in the early game. Cool. Skylar, getting hurt. She has 70% base scaling now on her auto attacks. She doesn't really ever auto attack anyway because of her her beam, but still. Plasma grade, explosion damage has been decreased. Thank God. Explosion bonus physical power scaling has been increased. Interesting. Slow duration has been decreased from 40 up to 80 to 40 up to 60. Thank God. Basically a root before. Projectile speed has been decreased by 18%. Interesting. Hypercharge, which is her right click. Total physical power bonus. Total physical power scaling has been decreased from 11 to 10. Bonus attack speed scaling has been decreased from 12 to 11. So just damage nerfs overall to her beam. Atomizer, her ultimate explosion radius has been decreased on that as well, so it's harder to hit. Sparrow. Fix an issue where minions could reveal Sparrow while she is stealth. Oh, okay. Hail of Arrows. Damage has been decreased from 100 to 240 to 100 to 220. Slow has been decreased from 40 to 30 up to 40. Slow duration decreased from 0.8 to 0.5. Piercing Arrow, her alternate ability. Damage has been decreased from 100 to 280 to 100 to 260. Damage multiplier per relentless stacks has also been decreased from 9% down to 8%. Interesting, interesting. Steel. Bull Rush. Damage decreased from 110 to 270 to 105 to 245. Magical power scaling has been decreased from 80% to 70%. 8% bonus health scaling added. Now can be cast while in mid-air. So his Bull Rush, when you're jumping, you can cast it now. You don't have to wait to land. Thank God. Good quality of life change there. You can also cast it now coming off of jump pads. Not jump pads, flower plants, right? So if you flower plant over the wall, you can cast that thing in the midair to try to gain distance or get distance further. That's fucking awesome. Great job. This needs to be casted in midair. Fantastic. Shield Bash. Damage has been increased from 45 to 125 to 45 to 145. Shield Slam Ultimate. Damage has been increased from 200 to 480 to 220 to 500. So a little bit more damage on steel. He hasn't been getting played for a while, so yeah, that makes sense. I still wish they'd make it to where his ultimate, if someone is flying in the air and you cast your ult and you hit them while in the midair, it drags them to the ground and stuns them. Still waiting for that quality of life change, but yeah. Terra. Her base damage is getting reduced on her, her scaling is getting reduced on her basic, like everybody else. Ruthless Assault. Her bonus physical power scaling has been decreased. True damage, bonus physical power scaling decreased. Highland Hurl damage has been decreased. Wild Rush, her alternate, which is her charge ability, damage decreased. Her bonus physical power scaling decreased. Max charge damage has been increased, so if you charge it to the full distance, it's going to do more damage. Max charge bonus physical power scaling has been increased. Again, charging it to the max will do more damage. They want you to charge that ability instead of just quickly casting it. Shield max health scaling has changed from 13% to 10 up to 18%, so just buffing her dash. And cooldown increased from 16 down to 10 to 16 up down to 12. It's a little bit longer cooldown in the later stages. Faye. I've heard some things about this character. Bramble Patch, her primary cooldown has been increased from 12 down to 9 seconds to 14 down to 10 seconds. Harvest Nettles, damage has been increased from 80 up to 220 to 80 up to 240. Projectile speed has been decreased. So I maxed this ability first, the Harvest Nettles, so I'm going to be doing more damage, so I like it. Untamed Growth, total damage has been decreased from 140 down to from 140 to 340 down to 140 to 320, so just worse in the later stages. And the range has been decreased from 1,700 units to 1,400 units. So if you're trying to throw this, you're going to be in auto attack range. Fly Trap Ultimate, quality of life, added a thin decal to show fly trap's tether range when it has been cast. Delay before pull has been increased to 1.15 seconds. So the delay that she sucks everybody to the middle is a little bit longer. Vine snap range has been increased from 110 units to 1,600 units. I'm going to be honest. Faye feels like you can walk out of that thing and break it, the freaking tether half the time. All the dashes cancel it, flashes cancel it, walking around corners cancel it. Most of the movement abilities will cancel it, or sorry, snap the vine. Obviously, cleanses will break the vine, snap, and all that stuff. Vine snap range being increased to 1,600 units. I have seen people get the ultimate of Faye cast on them, flash and dash, and still get sucked back in. So you won't be able to flash outside of the range of Faye ult anymore. It is going to suck you back in, and it is going to catch a lot of people off guard. Unless she casts it and it catches you on the very edge and you flash, you might be able to break it then. But from what I've seen so far, you will not be able to flash and break Faye tether anymore. You're going to need to flash around a corner to clip the vine on the wall of the map to break it, or cleanse or something. It's going to fuck you up now, which is awesome. I hate that this thing could be broken on everything, so I'm down for that change. Twin Blast. His primary bonus physical power scaling has been decreased. Gunslinger, his passive, has been reworked. Upon casting an ability, Twin Blast gains 15% total attack speed, and his next basic attack within 4 seconds becomes enhanced. Firing 3 times instead of 2, this triple shot deals 135% of his normal basic attack damage. So when you cast an ability, he auto attacks more times now and will do more damage. Besides just getting attack speed stem, he's actually going to do more damage, which is crazy. That character casts a lot of abilities, so wow. Vaporize, total damage has been decreased. Vortex Grenade, total physical power scaling has been increased. No, it's decreased. It says increased, but it's been decreased from 45 down to 30. Total physical power scaling has been decreased. Slow increased from 20 to 25. Slow duration decreased. Projectile speed decreased. Projectile gravity decreased. Projectile hitbox increased, so it's easier to hit the grenades when they explode next to somebody, but they're going to travel slower. Explosion radius has been decreased. Ultimate, Ventilate. Damage per bullet has been decreased, so just nerfing his ultimate a little bit. Wraith. Deleted from the game. I wish. Neuralize. It's his basic attack, decreased like everybody else. Peekaboo, which is his primary. Projectile speed has been decreased by 9% on his grenade that he shoots out and marks people with. Projectile gravity has been increased. Projectile explosion radius has been decreased, so it's harder to hit those grenades. Surprise, surprise, his secondary movement speed has been decreased, so you can't run away as fast. Knock Knock, his alternate, which is his snipe. Bonus physical power scaling has been decreased as well. So he's just going to do less damage overall, and some of his abilities are a little bit harder to hit. Wukong, we're getting close to the end, guys. Getting close. General, his basic attack has been decreased like everybody else. Pole Vault, his primary attack speed buff, now has a 60% physical penetration scaling on his attack speed buff. They want this guy to become an assassin. Interesting. Attack speed decreased 25% up to 50% to 20% up to 40%, but if you build pen, it's going to be more. So this is only a nerf if you don't build pen. Cooldown has been decreased from 15 up to 13 to 14 down to 12, so it'll be just a lower cooldown. High impact is secondary. Slow duration decreased from 1 second to 0.5. Cooldown is decreased as well. Cycle Breaker, his secondary, no longer destroys projectiles when active. This is his stun. Thank God! You can't block projectiles with Wukong anymore. You can stun this fucking guy. Holy! Bonus physical power scaling decreased from 75 down to 70. Damage reduction has been decreased from 25 down to 20, so he's going to take damage while he's in it now as well. Damage reduction now has a 45% physical penetration scaling. They want this character to be an assassin. Wow. Animation projectile cast time sped up from 1.63 to 1.1. So he throws his stun faster now because he can no longer block projectiles, which is awesome. Thank God. Stun duration has been decreased. Cooldown has been decreased. Force push, damage decreased. Wind surge, damage decreased. Slow duration decreased. 8,400 hairs, which is his ultimate. There was a bug fixed. Wukong no longer gains an additional hair stack upon damaging monsters when using the Farmer Augment. Yin, Storm of Salvation, her augment. Windburn extended duration has been decreased from 1.5 to 1 second, so thank God. That thing lasted forever. Rising Storm passive, attack speed per stack has been increased from 3 up to 6% to 4 up to 7%, so her passive actually getting a buff. Silk Song basic attack, bonus physical power scaling has been decreased on her basic. Her lash kick, damage has been decreased. Her backlash, which is her knockback, her projectile knockback and stuff, damage has been decreased on that. Quailing Gale, her ultimate, slow has been decreased on that. So nerfs to her damage overall, but she gets more attack speed now from her passive, which is pretty awesome. It will help that character out, even though she's getting her damage nerfed. It'll be fine because her attack speed is getting increased to compensate for the damage nerf. Yuri, please nerf her fucking dash. Animal Burst, her primary damage has been decreased. Severance, her secondary, which is her dash, slow duration has been decreased. Whispering Echoes, her ultimate, damage has been decreased. So just damage nerfs all around. Ultimate, self-slow while channeling has been increased from 20% to 30%, so she's slower when casting her ultimate. It no longer slows whenever she casts her ultimate on enemies, so if it used to be that you were in a 15%, like you were slowed by 15% when you were in her ult, that will no longer happen. Dash Crest can no longer be used while Soulstorm is channeling, so no more people casting Pacifier or casting Nex while casting the ultimate to get a little bit more ground on people. Fixed an issue where Yuri could become soft locked if she used an emote while channeling Soulstorm. Interesting. They didn't nerf her dash where you can't infinitely dash around, so she's still going to be broken. Unfortunate. Zaris, Master of the Spears Augment. Spear thrown cooldown modifier increased from 1.3x to 1.5x. Ascended Augment. Health per stack has been decreased from 8 to 6. So interesting. So they nerfed his scaling augment again. Barricade primary. VFX now better represents bash area damage. Bonus physical power scaling has been increased from 80 to 90% on his stun. Cooldown has been increased as well in the later stages of the game. Evade. While using Evade Airborne now grants additional height to his dash, allowing Zars to dash diagonally in the air. I have seen this. That mid ledge in the river to mid lane, right? So if you're trying to go behind the enemy mid laner, you can jump dash up on top of that ledge. So you can now get on top of things and come from different angles that you weren't before as Zaris. It's actually, this right here, this evade thing is the biggest buff I've ever seen. Actually, this is going to be disgusting when ganking mid lane, ganking side lanes. You know, you can dash up on that 3 camp now, where the 3 camp is by blue buff. You can dash up and get up on that ledge and get behind dual lane a lot easier as well. It's actually a massive buff right here. This is huge. The attack speed has been decreased by 1%, not a big deal. 5% at max level, but still not a big deal. Spear of the Nair, his alternate damage has been decreased on his spear. Bonus physical power scaling decreased. Cooldown has been increased. Stab cooldown reduction increased. Throwing the spear now does 20% bonus damage. So now if you throw the spear, you'll do extra damage. That is insane. The spear augment, the throwing spear augment now has a purpose. You might actually... This actually helps support Zaris as well. But now you can play this character and throw your spear in lane to do extra damage. And then when he gets lower, right-click him. Actually, does this 20% damage also get increased by 20%? When they're low health? That's crazy. Because don't forget, when they fall below a certain threshold, this ability does more damage. Damn, massive Zaris changes. Actually, this character is going to be OP again, I think. Wow. Colosseum, the ultimate. Colosseum's wall visuals is now better to match its actual collision boundaries. Cage radius is decreased by 20%. Cooldown has been decreased as well on it. And the duration of it has been decreased, so it's not up for as long. It's not as big of an AoE, and yeah, just overall, it's just smaller and not up for as long. Damn, Zaris is getting some crazy changes actually. That passive, the dash one, where he can get vertical, and the throwing of the spear are 2 massive changes. Wow, damn. Enhanced healing modifier has been increased from 1.5 to 1.75 on her passive. Her basic attacks, bonus physical power scaling has been decreased. Now also applies dot damage, dealing 9 plus 1.8 per level, and 15% magical power damage over 3 seconds. That means I assume they're going to change her healing auto attack. Ricochet damage has been decreased. Stun duration has been decreased. Bad medicine, which is the AoE that she throws, damage has been decreased. Mana cost has been decreased. Infuse, her alternate. So this is where she used to have her on-hit damage passive. Healing has been increased on her healing ability. Magic power scaling has been decreased. Infuse's dot damage has been moved to Refibrillator, the basic attack, meaning Zinx now has it at default at level 1. So this actually helps out Zinx quite a bit. It used to be that you had to level her heal in order to also level her auto attack damage, which was really dumb. It's very dumb, the way that worked. It didn't make any sense that her auto attack damage was linked to her healing. So now they've moved her auto attack damage to her auto attacks. So her auto attacks at level 1, even if you get the stun or you get your poke damage, your bad medicine, you're going to have dot damage as well, which is crazy. Really good buff to her. She will now be more of a nuisance in lane. Yeah, pretty awesome. Okay, we made it through all the heroes. Honestly, real quick to recap the heroes, all the healing changes are honestly pretty awesome. They're lowering the damage substantially in the game. Everybody's scaling is getting nerfed. Most people's base damage is getting nerfed. It's pretty awesome that they're doing that. Time to kill will be greatly affected by everybody's damage getting nerfed. You got to remember that even though some of those people had small changes, if you have 5 people on the enemy team who all got nerfed on damage, and 5 people on your team who all got nerfed by damage, the damage overall in the game should be less. So their time to kill should be improved by quite a bit, hopefully. Divine Potion total healing has been decreased, so the healing of Divine Potion isn't as good. Eviscerator, Rending Strikes total physical power scaling has been decreased. Liberator, cooldown has been increased again. Pacifier, Adrenalized bonus damage threshold has been decreased from 40 to 20. Cooldown has been increased as well. Witchstalker cooldowns increased. Brutal Axe cooldown increased. Thunder Cleaver bonus physical power scaling changed from 40 to 30. Apoc has been increased on the cooldown. Tempest, overcharge additional damage to shots has been decreased. Damage to single targets has been decreased, sorry. Typhoon, Cyclone attack speed per stack has been decreased from 4 to 3. Interesting. Keeper Crest, the gold per second increase from 0.45 to 0.5. Reclamation from 1.5 to 2. Silentium, so they're increasing the gold, the passive gold you get for all the support crests. We don't need to go through all those. Carry, Ashbringer, cost has been decreased from 3,100 to 3,000 on Ashbringer. Overrated item, who cares? Dust Devil, Menace, movement speed decreased from 12% to 10%. Equinox, physical power has been increased from 20 to 35, a massive increase, almost doubling the physical power on the item. Nightshade, 5% bonus critical strike damage has been removed. So it used to be that if you built Equinox and you crit somebody, it would be extra 5% damage. Really wasn't a great item, wasn't a big deal at all. They just removed that, and now it's just the shield with extra physical power. Wow. Adamant's shield has been increased from 200 to 400 to 300 to 600, so they're just making the shield better and removing the passive. Wow. I don't know if that's good. With physical power, this increase in physical power might actually make it really, really good. 20 physical power is like, damn, has nothing in it. So this actually might make the item good. Onyxian Quiver, multi-shot scaling has been decreased. Plasma Blade, physical power decreased. Resolution, Dark Steel, total mana scaling has been decreased. Solaris, physical power increased to 45. Spectra, Radiant Strikes on hit damage has been decreased from 25 to 20. Prisma, 30% slower moved. Thank God. Stormbreaker, Electric Momentum, total physical power scaling decreased from 35% to 25%. Tainted Rounds, Blinded physical power scaling has been decreased. Terminus, physical power decreased from 55 to 50, so now only Imperator has 55. Terminus no longer has 55. Viper, Diligence, bonus ability on hit damage has been decreased to 8% instead of 12. Interesting. So, just damage nerfs all around, or physical power nerfs all around to ADC items, except for Equinox. Equinox might be a really good item now. Assassin, Envy, physical pen has been increased to 8. Sacrificial strike critical damage has been reduced. Infernum, physical power decreased. Physical penetration increased. Cinder, base damage has been decreased from 4% max health to 3% max health. Bug fixed. Furnace's bonus damage modifier now correctly deals 0.5% additional damage per point of bonus armor, not 1%. Okay. Nightfall. Wait, back to Infernum. Furnace's bonus damage modifier now correctly deals 0.5% additional damage per point of bonus armor, not 1%. So just straight nerfs to Infernum damage. Nightfall, Eclipse healing decreased from 8% to 6%, so you don't sustain on it as much. Omen, Bestial Momentum bonus physical power scaling has been decreased from 20% to 15%. Perforator, Chilling Spells slow has now been decreased to 10% instead of 25%. That's a massive nerf to that. Painweaver, Splice movement speed per stack has been decreased to 2%. Spear of Desolation, physical power has been decreased to 40. Psionic Echo, Duplicity number of attacks decreased from 3 to 2. Duplicity total attack speed increased from 35 to 40. So they had it where Psionic Echo gave you increased basic attacks for 2. Then they buffed it up to 3, so your next 3 attacks should be faster. Now it's being nerfed back to 2, but the attack speed is being increased. Seems like they can't figure out what to do with this Psionic Echo item. Fighter, Tremor max movement speed has been decreased from 60 to 50. Tremor base physical power scaling has been decreased from 80 to 60. Mutilator, Omnivamp has been decreased to 10%. Overlord, Colossal Cleave has been decreased from 1.5 to 1. Devourer, additional health reward has been decreased from 150 to 100, so you get less health from this item. Tainted Blade, health has been decreased from 275 to 250. Tyranny, health has been decreased from 400 to 350. So they're nerfing just health items in general for some of the fighter items, which is fine. Some of the more common ones. Combustion for mages. Magical power has been increased from 75 to 85. They're buffing combustion again on that? Crazy. Pyro, magical power scaling has been decreased from 20% to 18%. So they're nerfing the scaling that you get on that item. Golem's Gift, physical armor has been increased to 40. Stone Skin magical power has been decreased from 5 to 4. Stone Skin physical armor has been decreased from 5 to 4. Okay, so they just buff the base armor, but then nerf the armor you get from the passive, making it a little bit better against targets that do a lot of damage over, like, in quick succession, like Greystone with his Q, would instantly knock off all of your stacks of Golem's Gift, but now you get better base armor if you want to build it. Magnify, Arcana magical power scaling has been decreased on that auto attack. Noxia, cost has been increased from 2900 to 3000. Oathkeeper, Celestial Spellblade scaling has been decreased. Overseer magical power has been decreased on the item. Prophecy, magical strikes damage has been increased from 18 to 20. Magical strike scaling has been decreased from 20% down to 15%. So better base damage, but your scaling is getting nerfed quite hard, so it's not going to make up for it. Time Warp, magical power decreased from 80 to 70. Ability haste increased from 15 to 25. Recipe has been changed from Chronomatic Wand to plus Essence Ring plus Scepter plus 250 gold. Okay. Interesting. Tank. Crystalline Curious. Health has been decreased. Magical armor has been increased on the item. Wow, that item is going to give so much magic armor. Flux Matrix. Unstable Shackles, magical damage amplification decreased from 12% to 10%. Stonewall, health has been decreased. Physical armor has been increased. Tainted Bastion, health has been decreased. Magical armor has been increased. Tainted Guard, health has been decreased. Physical armor has been increased. Wow. Supports. Cresselia, magic power decreased from 50 to 45. Fuck this item. Dynamo. Bug fix. Fixed an issue where Dynamo would no longer grant its bonus powers after its owning hero is killed once. Damn, that's why this item felt shit. Marshall. Sheriff on-hit damage has been decreased from 12 to 10. Nerfing Marshall again. They have crimed this item. Crimed it. Alright, now we're down to just bug fixes. And when you guys can read the bug fixes yourself to see what all has been done. This video is an hour and a half long. So I just want to briefly just say that there's a lot of really awesome things coming in this patch. The reduction in every CC in the game is fucking awesome. Hopefully there'll be less instances of people just dying in CC. Obviously there's still going to be a lot of CC characters in the game. Decker, Richter, Grux, Steel, the most common ones, right? All these characters can still CC you for a very long time. And if you have multiple of them on your team, you're going to get CC'd for a long time. So you still will die in CC, but hopefully not as many one-stun deaths and stuff. They're also nerfing all of the damage in the game in general, which is fantastic. There's so much damage in the game. Like, it just feels like everybody does a million damage everywhere. So the general damage nerfs will also feel really awesome. Also buffing it to where minions, last-hitting monsters feels better is fantastic. It seems like they're really trying to promote people staying in lane at least for a little bit, or really having to weigh the options of, should I rotate here? And if I do, how much gold am I going to miss? Instead of just going, hey, I'm just going to run around the map and kill people because it doesn't really matter, right? You get less gold for killing people. You get less XP for killing people. You get more gold for last-hitting minions, more gold for staying in lane and trying to get those tower plates. It's easier to get those now. So overall, based on what I read, laning phase should be a lot more fun. And laning phase should be a lot more impactful in the game versus the Ooga Booga run around the map or playing Marvel Rivals and just fighting nonstop type playstyle. If you want to play that playstyle, go play ARAM, because ARAM is in the game as well. So if you want to run around the map and just fight people and kill people nonstop, play ARAM. Just random a hero, go fight your heart out as much as possible. Get that out of your system, and then let's go play ranked and have a good time and make sure we're last hitting minions. And it's important that we stay in lane for a little while. You can still rotate around the map. They didn't make it to where if you rotate around, you're just getting completely screwed. But there is the possibility now of you getting behind and feeling that impact pretty hard. So last hitting is very important. Overall, I think the patch is fantastic. And I know I talked really, really fast in this video. There's like 70 pages of patch notes. So make sure you go check them out for yourself. Make sure you read them as best as possible, because the game should change quite significantly. And if you're a kind of person that likes to just fly by the seat of your pants and just see how the patch feels as you're going through it, that's fine too. Just know that if you're a guy who rotates a lot, it might feel a little bit worse for you. So you're going to have to adapt a little bit. We're all going to have to adapt a little bit. Anyway, without further ado, guys, I'm going to head out. I'm going to be playing ARAM up until Tuesday on the private server that the content creators get to play on. And don't forget, we're going to be playing Chained Together with Cholito and Kev Kaokin as well on Saturday, October 11th. So, without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and end the video here. I hope you guys enjoyed. You might have to play it a second time because I was talking really fast, or play it at 0.5 speed if you want to listen to it again. But I appreciate all of you guys tuning in and watching today. Have a great one. Peace out. Take it easy. See you guys in the stream. Bye.